One way, you overload it and it blows up. The other way, you overload it and it won't blow up and will hold it all day long. Let's get some community questions answered. This is from my Bluetti said no expansion, so I added 10 kilowatt hours of cheap batteries. The specs on the Bluetti input says 60 volts, 22 amps with 1200 watts. The typical output current of parallel server rack batteries should be 200 amps or more. I'm thinking that the 22 amps is not a max potential current limit, just the most it's going to get to if you stay within the 60 volt specs. I'm betting that most charge controllers work this way and you don't need to worry about over paneling the wattage of battery or solar array as long as you don't exceed the input voltage. Does anyone know of a charge controller or power station that will blow itself up, drawing too much current if the solar input voltage supplied is within max specs? This is a very great question and something that a lot of people misunderstand. So you are exactly right. On portable power stations, they have the built-in MPPT solar charge controllers, and they always have some kind of rating, a voltage rating and an amperage rating. Incidentally, external MPPT solar charge controllers like this one also have a max voltage and amperage rating. Here's the thing to remember. Volts are pushed, they're like the pressure in the electrical system. Amps are pulled by whatever is consuming the power. And so yes, so long as there's no short circuits or anything that goes wrong inside the power station, even though I have 200 plus amps worth of potential energy that I could discharge into this through those batteries, this is only going to pull its maximum rated capacity at 22 amps or thereabouts, so long as I'm below this voltage limit. If I were to hook up 1,000 volts of solar panels to this, I would immediately blow something up and potentially have a short circuit, because that voltage is just going to come and plow through any and all insulation factors and different things that is built into this charge controller. Hence why you need to stay under its voltage rating. This question's from I bypassed EcoFlow's solar limit. It worked. If you have two 100 amp 48 volt golf cart batteries, then could you add more solar? Absolutely. So this is from that video, and this is where I hacked my little EcoFlow power station and added just bonker amounts of solar to it. And in this video, I actually go through this very thing, but it's good to refresh. Generally speaking, lithium iron phosphate batteries, you should not exceed a 1C rate of charge. And I go through that in this video. But in the case of the EcoFlow Delta 2, which is just a 1 kilowatt hour battery, a 1C rate of charge equals 1,000 watts, or 1 time its capacity, and it will recharge in 1 hour. So the commenter is asking, if you add two 100 amp hour 48 volt golf cart batteries, could you add more solar to that? And the answer is yes, because basically we've got like 11,000 watt hours of battery capacity. So to reach a 1C rate of charge, now we need to inject 11,000 watts instead of just 1,000 watts. And it would charge in 1 hour. But the battery cells themselves are absorbing the same rate of charge. There's just more of them, and so because there's more of them, they can absorb more power all at once. Hopefully that makes sense. Another question from the Bluetti said no to expansion, and I still expanded it. Love this setup, but I have one question. If the Elite 300 has a continuous 120 volt load of, let's say, 300 watts directly connected, while its DC input is being maxed out, or even when it's fully charged, do you know if the Bluetti's internal inverter is bypassing its battery because it has an external load? I've found some manufacturers force all connected loads directly through the battery, or have an option to configure this based on loads and other variables. If one were to use this continuously, this would really affect the cycles. If they are LFP batteries, I guess they do well staying at 100%, but this can't be healthy. Anyone? So this is the video in question where I expand the Bluetti Elite 300 that has no battery expansion ports on it via its DC input connected directly to the server rack battery. And the person is concerned about when this gets fully charged and you've got a load running on this, does the power from these external batteries just pass directly through? Or is it going to discharge part of the internal battery here and then charge back up and discharge it and charge back up, discharge it, charge it back up? And the answer is, when you're inputting DC power through the charge controller input, which this is here, you are going to have some cycling happen, minor cycling. So it's going to drop a little bit and then charge back up, drop a little, charge back up. Now, in the app for the Bluetti Elite 300, you can lower that threshold down to, say, like 85%. So it's not sitting there pegged at 100% state of charge. The only time you're going to have pass-through power to the outlets is when you have AC power plugged in charging this. Then the unit will just pass the power straight through and not even touch the battery. But when you're charging from the external DC source, you're going to have that cycling happening on the battery. Now, I think you raised concerns about the battery cycling. Here's the thing. Lithium iron phosphate batteries are rated on cycles of 100% all the way down to 0, back up to 100%. Do that, 3,000 times, 4,000 times, whatever the cycle life is, and the rating is to 80% original capacity. So do that 4,000 times, and at the end, you're going to end up with, 80% of your original capacity remaining on the battery. The other thing to remember is this is in a full cycle that we're doing. So you're going to get significantly longer life out of your lithium iron phosphate batteries doing this hack, because it's only going to go down, a percentage or two before it charges back up. Once again, if you're concerned about it holding at a 100% state of charge, just go into the app on the Bluetti unit and dial it back so it's holding at 85%. And then at that point, you're going to hardly affect the cycle life of the battery. I always tell people, you've spent all this money on this nice gear. Use it, because it's going to last you easy 10 years if you're cycling it pretty decently every single day. And most people are not doing full cycles every single day. And chances are really good by the time 10 years passes, there's going to be the next better, cheaper battery chemistry out there that you're going to want to upgrade to anyway. So use the latest technology to your advantage and let your investment that you spent good money on actually work for you. Next question from the major flaw in Opus and Pecron power station. I have a 30 amp camper that has a 4,000 watt generator, and I was planning on getting a power station and possibly expand to 48 volt battery. Which one would be perfect to charge via 30 amp and power the 30 amp camper? Also charge it at the same time via generator and solar. Thanks. Oh, this is so easy. Absolutely look no further than the Bluetti Apex 300. First, it's a very capable power station just by itself. It's got almost 3,000 watt hours of battery capacity in it with a 3,800 watt dual inverter system. So it can output 240 volt and 120 volt power. It can accept solar. It's got two built-in MPPT solar charge controllers. Each one accepts 1,200 watts. So you can pump in over 2,000 watts of solar into this. You mentioned your camper is 30 amp service. Well, look at this. It's got a 30 amp RV plug built in. You'll get the full 30 amp output through this plug. And even down the road, if you upgrade to a larger camper, you could get a couple of these units and get a full 50 amp service. This actually will work. It's just derated with one unit. You can charge it with solar and generator and do it simultaneously. You can even do a full 30 amp charge and pass through with this 30 amp high-speed charging cable you can buy as an accessory. And you mentioned wanting 48 volt battery expansion. Well, you can actually connect cheap third-party 48 volt batteries to the battery expansion port on the Bluetti Apex 300 as well. So this is going to be your Swiss Army knife, check every box solution on the market right now. This is from the Whole Home Solar Backup for under $4,000. What cycle did it? I would love to pull my house off grid. We have a 200 amp circuit breaker box. How much solar and inverter would I need to have? Well, like all questions, the answer is it depends. I guarantee you that you are rarely pulling a full 200 amps from your service. So here's what I would recommend. Pick up one of these units right here. It's a whole home power monitoring system. And if you're not comfortable working inside your breaker panel, hire an electrician to install it for you. But this will monitor the power coming in from the main and the grid, but it will also monitor each individual circuit in your house as well. And run that for a period of a couple months and measure and see how much power your house actually demands, even in its most demanding time. I think you'll be surprised how minimal the power consumption actually is. I have a 200 amp service. This is a sub panel that we're looking at, but when I take my house fully off grid, I'm going to be using this E4 12000 XP. Technically, it actually only does a 50 amp service. Of course, you can add multiples in parallel if you need to expand your power capability. But really, for me, I am never using more than 12,000 watts at any given time. So if you're going to go fully off-grid and cut ties with the power grid, a fully off-grid system like this 12000 XP, maybe two of them, a maximum of four of them would give you a full 200 amp service. In parallel would be great. If you still wanted to connect to the grid and use it in parallel with your system, then getting a hybrid inverter set up like the FlexBoss 21 paired with the Grid Boss that has a full 200 amp pass-through capability could be a great solution as well. I will leave links to Payoff Solar down in the description. I personally feel their pricing combined with my coupon code and their free shipping, you cannot beat their prices anywhere for EG4 stuff. Now guys, don't forget, in every video, scroll down to the description and utilize this section right here, where you can submit a guaranteed to be answered question by me, book a one-on-one video consultation, or use my new custom search engine app that allows you to search any term, just say fuse sizing. And look at that, every time I've mentioned fuses and their sizing, it comes up here in the results. You can jump to specific timestamps in the video or just watch the video from the start. Super handy resource. Of course, continue to leave comments in my videos as well, because I draw from those to provide these question and answer videos for you. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hype. We've always got more epic content on the horizon. All of you stay safe, and we'll catch y'all next time.